It's Monday, November 10th, 2025, and this is episode 347 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, how are things going?
Good. You'll be happy to know that it currently is snowing.
Good. Oh, good.
It's one of those where it hits the ground and melts. It's gone.
Yeah.
But I was looking ahead, and I guess we will have a white Christmas.
Oh, good. Well, that's always nice. Even though it may be a little bit of a hassle, that's always nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, typical Southern California weather here. I'm extremely busy, Dr. Mike.
Yes.
Extremely busy.
Walking and playing pickleball and hanging out.
I think most listeners probably don't know that I retired last week.
Yes.
So we've discussed it on the show. You know, I had a lot of free time when I was working, but now that I'm retired, just
time is precious.
24/7. In all seriousness, I went and played in a poker tournament on Wednesday night with our friend Bill, who's part of the poker gang. Something I would never have done because, it was a school night before. And,
right, yeah.
And, it was kind of...
night.
Yeah, right. It was a very quick tournament. It only lasted like 3 hours. The levels were lightning fast. So it was that kind of thing.
Right.
And I really had a good time. And I'm thinking, I never would have done it in the middle of the week. Even if I'd done it on the weekend when I'd been working, I would have thought, why did I spend all this time doing that when I could have done other stuff or whatever? Yeah, I think I was born for retirement, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
how did Bill end up?
I think he bubbled, and they paid the bubble, so he got his money back.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's good.
I was texting you. There were only like 39 people in it. I went out, I think, 16th.
Yeah.
The blinds were just
crazy.
You
had a ton of money, and then within like a few minutes, it was gone.
It seemed like a ton of money, but when I told you what the blinds were, I only had like 10 big blinds.
Right.
So
I know, but it just seemed like so much more than the buy-in.
Yeah. Anyway, having a good time so far. So
good. Well, you'll enjoy retirement. You'll have plenty to do.
Yeah, I think so. It's funny because I was talking to our friend Gary, the dentist. I took my dad to see him a couple years ago.
Right.
And he was telling me, Mark, I'm never going to be able to retire. He was talking about how during COVID, he was just bouncing off the walls. And that he is absolutely not wired for retirement. He's just going to keep working as long as he can. So we're all different. Yeah.
He's 77 years old.
Gosh. And, he's one of those guys who doesn't really seem that old.
No. Oh, you'd look at him and you'd think, late 50s.
Yeah, a lot of energy and
Yeah.
So.
But still, 77, he's still working. And it's because, it would drive him crazy just to have nowhere to go or nothing to do.
Well, Dr. Mike, we got an email from listener Maddie from Australia. He wanted to fill you in on some information we were talking about last time. You were talking about living in Australia and sort of these betting parlors and everything. At the end of his email, he said, if someone nails the Aussie accent, I'll shout the next round of Vegemite shots and well drinks. So I'm going to try to read his thing in an Australian accent. And I actually had to look this up. So he says, I'll shout the next round of Vegemite shots. Shout, I guess, is an Australian slang term meaning paying for somebody else.
Right.
That's not something I'd ever heard before. Maybe you did when you were.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing. So. All right, here I go. G'day from Perth, Western Australia. Land of... You know what? This is terrible. I can't do that. I knew it was going to be bad.
Well, it sounds forced.
It sounds forced. All right. I anticipated this. I created an AI version of this to read Maddie's email. So let's just take it away, AI.
Go ahead. Yep.
G'day from Perth, Western Australia, land of perfect beaches, expensive beer, and a casino that takes more from me than the Australian Tax Office. I'm writing for two reasons. One educational and one spiritual. Firstly, in response to this week's episode, a quick note on the betting location Dr. Mike remembered from his time here. Over here, we've got the TAB, short for Totalisator Agency Board. It kicked off in the 1960s when the government decided people are going to gamble anyway, we might as well take a cut and call it public service. Basically, the Tab is a government-approved bookie that runs betting shops, an online platform, and half the horse races in the country. Think off-track betting, but with better coffee and worse fashion. These days it's privatized, but we still call it the Tab. Secondly, after a brutal 6-month run of losing at Blackjack and Ultimate Texas Hold'em here at Crown, along with what can only be called being slaughtered in Vegas in 2024, I finally hit my first decent win last week. A nice triple up of the bankroll to raise the spirits. Before that, the dealers were starting to send me sympathy cards. But the gambling gods must have felt bad because just as I broke my losing streak, Crown Perth announced they're installing a dice table. Now I need your dice wisdom. I am a complete newbie. I've never rolled dice. My dream setup, $25 on each of the all, tall and small, and I want to stay in long enough to actually see it hit. I play for the big rolls, not the nickel and dime stuff, but I don't want to bust out before the miracle happens. So what's the game plan, boys? How do I pace myself, manage the bankroll, and make sure I'm still standing when the ATS finally lands? I'm no high roller, but my bankroll will usually get me a couple of hours at a $25 blackjack or UTH table, even when I'm being slaughtered. Love the podcast and can't wait to listen to you guys each fortnight. Cheers from Perth.
All right, so kind of cheating there. I doubt he's going to buy us the drinks then, since I just used I'll tell you what, I used a free AI service, and it would not let me use the word craps. It said that it was,
really?
Yeah, there's standards. You know, I was breaking some rule or something. So I had to replace it with dice. Let me read to you what Maddie actually wrote here. He said, the gambling gods must have felt bad because just as I broke my losing streak, Crown Perth announced they're installing a crapless craps table. That's right, crapless. In Perth, Western Australia, the mythical drop bear has landed. So it's not necessarily important for the question he's asking, but it's actually a crapless table that's going in.
Yeah, that's funny. Crapless is everywhere now, even in Perth.
Yeah. I wrote him back, and Mike, I want you to chime in here too. If he's really interested in doing the all small tall at $25 each, and he wants to kind of stay alive for a while and is waiting for the big hit, I told him basically don't make any other bets. You may have to bet the pass line in order to bet the all small tall. But, you know, that's $75 each shooter, or maybe even more than each shooter if the shooter rolls a 7 on the come out roll. And that can go very fast. Those bets are most likely to lose. So,
and it's that guy that rolls like 3 7s on the come out.
Yeah, and you got, you know, that's $75 each time.
Yeah, you could be down $300-$400 before the roll even starts.
So I don't know that I could really successfully answer his question.
No, I would do like you said. If they let you bet that without a line bet, I kind of doubt
they might
only do that. Yeah. But if they make you do a line bet, maybe do a line bet the all tall, all small, and take some odds. I don't know.
No,
I mean, it depends on.
I mean, don't even take odds, right? Because he wants to stay alive, waiting for that big roll, right? And taking odds, it's a good bet, but it also adds to the variance, and you know he might be out of there even sooner than he thought.
How about this? Make your line bet $75.
Yeah, okay. To cover it, maybe. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if 7 comes up, you cover it.
Okay.
11 comes up, you're in like Flint. 2, 3, and 12, you're going to lose, but
you've hit one of those outside numbers that you kind of need.
Exactly. You've hit an outside number that you need.
What about this, Dr. Mike? Only bet the small and the tall. And then, maybe 50 on the line, right? Because, your chances of hitting one or the other is much better than hitting the all.
Yeah, but his goal is to hit them all. He's going for the big payout, right?
Yeah.
But if it was draining you way too quick, that'd be the way to go.
Yeah.
Small and tall, right?
Okay.
Or quarter on the smalls, quarter on the tall, and $10 on the all or something, right?
Right. Or even the other way around, 10 each on the small and tall and 25 on the all.
25 on the big one. Yeah. That's a good way to go.
A lot of other things to think about.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to tweak it that could make your bankroll last longer, but I mean, if that's your only goal and you're not interested
you're waiting for that big hit. Hey, Maddie, you might sit through some sessions where you go through your money really quick and then come back next time and try it again. That's just the nature of the long shot bets.
Right. I don't know. I've had 4 or 5 sessions on consecutive days gambling that, I got nothing. No small, no tall,
Oh, and
nothing.
we've certainly had trips to Las Vegas
Yeah.
or wherever where we
Yeah.
haven't hit the all. Usually we hit one side of them, but, no all the whole trip.
It's the whole trip. Yeah. Yeah. And then I've had days where I've hit like 4 or 5 halves, right?
Yeah, right.
I hit the small and then the next guy hit the tall, but I never hit them all. And those halves help, but the idea is to hit them all.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Maddie, for contacting us. Great information about the tab.
I distinctly remember going into those with my dad.
Yeah.
But now that they have craps down there, I wonder if that's going to be a thing.
Well, they've always had craps. I remember there was a podcaster, and doggone it, I can't remember the name. It's like My Craps Journey, I think was the name. And he was in Australia, and he was able to play every once in a while.
I'm just wondering if it's something that's going to take off, like people, we have crapless craps.
Yeah, probably unlikely.
Yeah, probably unlikely, yeah. Although Australia's got a lot of gamblers.
Yeah.
So, that's why they had the lottery so early in the 60s and stuff, because people like to gamble there.
Yeah.
They like beer and gambling, Mark.
Yeah. And shrimp, apparently? I don't know. I remember seeing something about a barbecue and a shrimp.
There's a lot of coastline there.
Hey, Dr. Mike, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. YouCanBetOnThat.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. Let's move on to voicemails. First up is Jeff.
Hi, guys. It's Jeff from L.A. giving you a trip report. I'm driving back from Vegas right now. I was out there October 25th, 26th. My friend was doing the marathon out there. He was staying at the Grand, so I stayed there. A little bit of shakeup at the Vegas Marathon. They changed the course like 2 weeks before the marathon actually went off. Not sure why, but this is their second annual one. And last year, it was a big thing to run the Las Vegas Marathon because you're at such high elevation and you're going downhill for so much of it. It's like, hey, you'll get your best time there, and then you can use that to possibly qualify for the prestigious ones like Boston or New York. Anyway, those Boston and New York and other marathons start to say Vegas will penalize you. You can't, 3 hours is our time limit. You guys have to run it in like 2:48 or something like that. So maybe that was part of the reason why they changed it. But they changed it to even higher elevation, and my friend did well, but the high elevation hurt him as far as going downhill. He ended up popping toenails and stuff like that. So it went off, but some strangeness there. And we played some craps, went to Grand. Grand was good, $10 table, fun. Mark, I heard you say several times you don't like the cashiers there, but I never heard why you don't like it. It looks like every cashier's cage I've ever been to, so just wondering why you don't like it so much. We went to the plaza and we started playing. I was teaching my friend craps. Didn't even realize it was a crapless table, but that was $15. And it was $15 everywhere except the Grand for 10 and Binion's I saw 10. For Queens, now they have like a tub craps. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it's much smaller. And there's only a stick person there, which is odd because I remember playing there 2 years ago or so, and they had multiple crap tables, full length, dealers, stickman, and a boxman. And I thought, oh, these guys, they're doing it right. They realize the value of a boxman. And now the only thing that was open was this tub. Both nights I was there, and it only has one stick person looking over it. So I thought that was interesting. We went to Circa to watch games at the sports book, and I left Vegas this morning, the 27th, Monday, and Mark, I heard in your episode just dropped today that you were up there, and I'm surprised you didn't mention anything. I just drove down the strip, and there's all this structure and apparatus up. I'm assuming it's Formula One. I went by the Bellagio, try to look over at the fountains, and there's already some apparatus up with seats and all that stuff. Aesthetically very ugly and running the length of most of the strip. So if you're going out there, know that your view might be blocked. You guys didn't mention, I was surprised you didn't mention anything about the Chauncey Billups poker scandal. It is gambling related. was a fan of Chauncey Billups. I guess is a fan. I'm so surprised he's involved in anything like that. He made so much money playing, and he's still in the game at the highest level of coaching, making millions, and why he would be involved in that is beyond me. They were, I guess, using card shufflers that had a camera in it. I hear contactor glasses. Reminds me a lot of the Tran organization when it went through here, where they knew what the order of the cards were. I'm just so disappointed to hear that Chauncey Billups could be involved in something like that. Last but not least, a movie suggestion. If you never saw Two for the Money, I was just thinking of that. It won't change your life, but it's a pretty good movie on sports gambling and touts. Al Pacino says something in it to Matthew McConaughey where he says, they're in New York, he says, sports betting is illegal in 48 states, including this one. And I just thought, boy, has that changed. I saw that movie in the theater, I guess it was 20 years ago, but wow, it seems like yesterday, and what a brave new world we're in. Thanks for all you do, and keep up the good work. Bye.
All right. Thanks for the call, Jeff.
Oh, we got to take these one by one.
Oh,
Mark.
yeah. We're going to go. Let's start with some of these that he talked about earlier, and we'll finish up with this NBA scandal. So downtown Grand Cashier. Yeah, I hate that cashier. Look, I hate most casino cashiers.
Yeah, but you don't hate it because of what it looks like or anything.
No. It's just, it's always one window. I think they have two, but I've never seen two people working. And anytime you only have one window, you're at the mercy of people who are maybe going to take a long time up there. Cash advances or who knows what, things like that. So that's what I don't like is, the line could be short, but you wait there forever.
Well, the thing is when there's one cashier, there could be like three people in line. You're thinking, short line. But if the person's doing a cash advance and say there's some issue or something, it can take forever.
Yeah.
You could be sitting behind two other people, one person at the cashier, two in line in front of you, and you've got $40 you're trying to cash out. And you're thinking, come on,
Yeah. And I realize, staffing, everything. Yeah. I mean, I understand it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. It's still not fun.
Yeah. The Four Queens craps tub. We've seen pictures of that. We haven't seen it in person yet. I guess I didn't realize that had replaced all the regular craps tables. So if that's the case, that's too bad. I mean, the tub is kind of cute, and it's one dealer. Yeah. But
we remember going to Four Queens in our day when we went there quite a bit. They had 5 tables.
Yeah, that was a place we played a lot, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. They had 4 tables, 2 like back to back. And then at the end, an end cap, they had a full-size table.
Yeah.
So they had 5 tables. And I remember, all of them being open on like a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like it just got less and less until it was down to 2. And, things kept changing. Oh.
Yeah, the F1 construction, it causes a lot of traffic problems on the Strip. Tim Lawson and I got caught in some of that last time. And I will say the worst part about the construction is the grandstands in front of the Bellagio fountains. You cannot see the Bellagio fountains from the Strip or like across the street. In fact, you can't even walk in front of Bellagio. That whole walkway is. So if you were coming to Vegas for the first time, that's something you wanted to see, you might not have any idea that, F1 was coming, these big construction things here. It is a shame, especially when it covers up something as iconic as the Bellagio fountains.
And I guess they have to put those structures up well in advance. It's not something that goes up the day before.
Right.
So, yeah, I wonder what the casinos think about that because
it depends on the casino.
Right, because from what I heard last time is it didn't bring that many people in.
It helps the high-end casinos, like Wynn, right? Because all, F1 is a high roller sport, right? It's a rich person's sport. And so they do great. Some of these other places, not so much. And in the past few years, downtown has really suffered because people thought, Vegas is going to be a madhouse when F1 is town. So people stayed away. And downtown was like a ghost town. Hopefully that's not the case this year, but...
Does it go through downtown?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say
it doesn't. But people, when they come to Vegas, they want to stay on the Strip for the most part.
Right.
But, even people who might be used to or willing to stay downtown, At least the first few years here have stayed away because they thought it was going to be chaos. And downtown, it's not.
They thought a lot of people would be downtown. And
Yeah.
that's not the case, yeah.
And then the movie Two for the Money. Yeah, I would recommend that movie. That's a pretty good movie. In fact, Tim Lawson and I talk about it on Better Viewing, an episode that we recorded in February of 2022. So go to the Better Viewing podcast and look for that episode. Two for the Money. It's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this NBA gambling scandal, it's interesting. We did not talk about it last episode. And in fact, when I went to poker that week, the guys were saying, "Oh, did you talk about it on your show?" And I was like, "No, we didn't."
Well, I think more came out after that show.
It could be, but Mike, I'll tell you, I'm not naive. I'm not trying to trivialize this because I know as far as the media goes in NBA, it's like this huge deal. Sports gambling scandals have been around
Forever.
as long as sports has been around, right? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I'm
and
sure
that's-
the chariot races, things like that. Honest, I'm not joking. I mean, I'm sure back then there was cheating and scandal and stuff.
And this is going to continue to happen. So it's big news. Even mainstream media and politicians are getting involved. What happened? And it's sort of like, oh, we've got to do something. The NBA has a gambling problem. They are doing something. This is why the story came out. The FBI investigated and caught these guys.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with legalized gambling as far as whether or not gambling would have taken place. If anything, the legalized gambling makes it easier for the authorities to find out if something suspicious is going on. And there were two things specifically. Let's talk just about the NBA. The two names you hear quite a bit on the news are Chauncey Billups, who was the Portland Trail Blazers head coach, and Miami Heat player Terry Rozier. Now, in the case of Rozier, he was manipulating games for bets. There's one game in particular in 2023 where he told his friends, associates, I'm going to leave the game with an injury early on. So make the appropriate bets. Bet on me underperforming for that game. And there is evidence that that is the case. FBI has been looking at this for years. They're not coming, right now just, oh, we found something. They've got a lot of evidence here. Now, Chauncey Billups, I mean, this is the one that just seems like it's out of a movie. He, working with the mafia, the actual mafia, set up these poker games to bring in these big players, say, oh, you're going to be playing with some NBA players. And it's a fun game, big thing. They were using shuffle machines that had been manipulated to cheat. I guess cameras in there and special glasses, to see what the cards were. What prompted Chauncey Billups to get involved in this? Was he pressured to? We don't know all the details at this point.
I assume when I hear this, I mean, it's like anything else. Why does some professional athlete do something illegal when they're making millions of dollars a year? It all boils down to one thing: basic human greed.
Yeah.
People are never happy. No matter how much they have, they want more. And I'm not saying that I haven't been that way at points. It's just our human nature. So when a guy is presented with something like this, even though he's making millions of dollars a year, he's thinking, oh, I can get more.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I've never made $1 million a year, but if I did have a job that paid me millions, and we're talking NBA where,
Right.
10 million is no big deal.
Yeah.
I would never do anything illegal because I wouldn't want that to be taken away from me. But you see it all the time.
Yeah. So is this a problem? Well, I mean, yes, it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. But what do we need to do about it? I believe this is doing something about it.
Right.
Catching people, letting players know, hey, this happened, emphasizing to the players who have not fallen victim to this. Look,
Yeah.
here's what you can't do. It
Right.
should be common sense, but here, you will get in trouble. Not just
Right.
losing your job, but going to prison. So
Yeah. Well, because sometimes too, people who I don't want to say have it easy. Nobody really has things easy. I mean, bad things happen to everybody, but people who are writing so-called the high life think that, well, I can get away with this.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? I can get away with it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And, they need to learn that, no, you'll probably get caught at some point and have issues. I think, Mark, that a lot of that goes on anyway. I've always thought whenever I see someone go down, I'm always a bit suspicious.
Gambling scandals in sports will continue. We need to be vigilant. And like I said, I think they're doing a good job right now. Is it a great job? Probably not. Do I know everything? Of course not. But it's going to always happen. Right. No matter how many safeguards you put in place, it's always going to happen.
And you mentioned at the beginning, as far as media and politicians and stuff getting involved, they're just opportunistic. They're seeing a thing that's kind of egregious.
Oh, yeah. It's very easy for them. I'm outraged. Yeah,
I'm outraged. Well, that gets me votes, or that gets me selling, news and papers. And I mean, you've never seen a day on the news where they said, hey, today was a great day. Everyone's doing good. We got nothing to report. They want to sensationalize those things when they get caught. And so that makes it a bigger deal than it really is, because we know it goes on.
Yeah.
It's just surprising some people that do get caught, like Chauncey Billups, who you've always thought, he's a good guy, know. And unfortunately in life, you never really know about people, right?
So anyway, we're gambling podcasters. That's our take.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about it, because we're not going to be invited to some high stakes poker game, where people are buying in for 100,000 or something.
We don't need to worry about it.
And to those people who do get invited to stuff like that, hey, buyer beware.
Yeah, that's too bad, but yeah. All right, let's hear from our good friend Ariel.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike, this is Ariel. So a couple of trip reports. One, went to Lake Tahoe. It was great. It was a good trip. But one of the things that happened to me over there, the Plate of Craps did a really great roll. Started with like 500, ended up cashing out like around 1,200, rolled for like 30 minutes. But when I went to the cashier, I gave him the 1,200, and then when they counted it, it was like 11.75. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I counted it. I don't know if I dropped something or whatever, but yeah, just make sure you count your money so you know how much money you got before you go to the cashier. But overall, great trip, great, nice, very pretty, especially in the fall. So it was awesome. Definitely recommend it. And then went to Vegas. There were a couple concerts that I went to. One of them was Alanis Morissette. I didn't go to it, but my girl and our daughter went, so they had a great time to that one. Stayed at Rio, still very pretty, but I'm starting to notice that they are doing the resort fees, and then they're upselling, like, hey, if you want to go to the new room, this is extra cost, like $30 a night or whatever. So I'm going to check out some other places to see where they don't have resort fees, because I'm seeing a lot more deals with the other hotel rooms. So I think we're going to start doing that. A lot of the tables were like not high $25 tables anymore that I saw. Went to Harrah's, went to Flamingos, all that stuff. Some of the strip resorts, not as expensive as I thought it would be. So they're probably changing because not getting too many visitors going over there. Anyways, thank you for everything, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. I haven't seen you guys in a while. All right, take care.
All right, yeah, thanks, Ariel.
Yeah.
Like I kind of heard last time I was in Vegas too, it seems like maybe the Strip is changing a little bit to try to get people back in by lowering prices, limits, that kind of thing. So that's good. Yeah, always count your chips. If when you're getting colored up at the table, watch as they count it and make sure that's right. And then when they give you the colored up chips, make sure they're giving you the right amount for what they just counted out. And yeah, hold on to them tight when you went to the cashier. Gosh, Mike, I don't think I mentioned this, but when I was in Blackhawk last time, I was coloring up for about 2,000. They were about to short me 1,000.
Really?
That's how bad it was.
Wow.
The box and the dealer were both looking at it. I had to say, no, look. And they weren't doing anything shady. They were embarrassed. It's like, you gotta watch
it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever gone on a trip where I didn't see something like that happen, where like the boxman counted up so much and then the dealer counted up something different and they have to do it 3 or 4 times. It happens. So
Yep.
you have to watch because that's your money.
All right, next up is Patrick. The audio is a little muffled. It's going to be hard to understand at the beginning, but it does get better as the call goes on.
Good period of time, Mike and Dr. Mike. This is Patrick from Las Vegas. I was in Wendover for a business trip, and I was walking to the restaurant and found an empty $5 craps table. Knowing how hard that is to find in Las Vegas, I went down, bought in $95 that I had won from a new member sign-up bonus at a different casino, and a match play from the Rainbow where I was staying and playing, and I started shooting. I ended up throwing 4 horn numbers in a row, 2, 3, 11, and 11, $5, horn high 12, 4 in a row. That was epic. And then, after some prodding from the dealers, I ended up making my $5 horn high 12 bet on the come out a 2-way, 5 for me, 5 for the dealer. And once you know it, I hit another 3 12s. And that was just amazing. 2 of them were back to back. The dealers got $171. I quadrupled my money. I was in 95, left for 375. Needless to say, I was telling everybody at work about how great that session was. And also, going back to what your Canadian dealer said last podcast about staying games under different names, I'm just speculating here, but it could be a similar situation to the board game Monopoly. If you notice, in a lot of places there's, the regular Monopoly and then a local version, like Reno-opoly or Sparks-opoly or San Diego-opoly. Well, the story behind that is the rules of the games themselves are not necessarily protected, but the design element of it is. And certain branding is protected. So in the regular Monopoly game, the 4 corner squares, the railroad, the chance symbols, those are all protected for Hasbro, the makers of Monopoly. However, any company can create a property trading game as long as they change the design of the board, change the names of the spaces enough so that it is fair use. It could be the same principle applied to table games. As you know, they're now free bet, free bonus, and now free ride. So it could just be a matter of just changing the look of it to satisfy, legal protection. Thank you. And I'll be heading to a remote soon. Hopefully I hear that into you guys there. Thank you and have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, on our last episode, we were trying to figure out how can there be games that are exactly the same? What's the legality behind that? Copyright, trademark, patent. Yeah. How are they able to have a game that's basically the same, called different things and owned by different companies? And this actually sounds like he might be onto something.
Yeah. So you can get something protected only so far.
It's about the branding, right? Yeah, and the look of it and that kind of thing.
Right.
Not so much the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we talked about it, All Small Tall, we see that called a lot of different things provided by a lot of different companies, but the rules are all the same. So, okay. All right.
So maybe a casino can just, like, let's say you want to do an all tall small, you don't want to get it from somewhere else. You just call it something else, your own thing. You can have the same rules, but you call it and you make it look a little different.
Yeah, gosh, that I didn't think about that. Actually, a casino doing it on their own. Obviously, we're out of our depth here, but yeah. Huh. Anyway, that seems reasonable. Anybody else has any additional information?
Reasonable. I guess he didn't say if he was a patent attorney or whatever, but
I know it didn't sound like it.
He was the person who would know exactly.
Using that as an example.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Tim Lawson.
Mark, Dr. Mike, Tim Lawson from The Better Life here, and I have a confession to make. I cheated at a table game. It wasn't on purpose. I did not intend to, but it did technically happen, and I have to tell somebody. So why not you and your thousands of listeners? I was playing Baccarat at Maryland Live. It was a squeeze game. It was a full table. It was a busy table. And as you know, always playing the banker when I'm betting. But Mark, as you know, I'm not always out there, right? I do take hands off. Well, I had taken a hand off after a run of banker plays, and I said not to play the next hand. The hand gets dealt, and it's resolving. And as the dealer is resolving the bets, I am sort of somewhat paying attention to the table, looking at the screen, the TV, right? I'm not fully attentive to everything that's happening. But in my peripheral, I notice that she goes through and handles a bunch of chips, and like she makes it past me. And so instinctively, I push my black chip back out on banker because I was ready to play the next hand. And I sit there for another minute. I'm looking at the TV on something, I think, and then I look back down on my bet, and I noticed that it got paid out. There was a payout there. And I know that we didn't play another hand, so I think what happened was I think she resolved all the bonus bets, and then I had pass posted, and she went through and not realizing that my bet wasn't originally out there for that hand, paid me out, and I think I got away with pass posting. Now, I'm not proud of it. I definitely don't mean to. It's not something that I encourage or condone. I was almost getting ready to say something, but I was nervous because there was a difficult player already sort of in the area. So I didn't want to bring more negative attention to the run of play. I didn't want the dealer to maybe act, I didn't want to possibly have her look bad for not having caught that, even if I was admitting that it was my mistake. But it sort of let it happen. And I think I got away with it until the guy next to me was like, hey, be careful with that. They'll watch for that. And I was like, oh, crap. Someone else saw it. So then I'm getting ready for the pit or for security or someone. No one came up to me. I don't think Maryland Live was the wiser. At least one player saw what happened. Who knows? Maybe the rest of the people just didn't care. But, I don't know what either of you would have done in that situation. I know we sort of live by the casinos have to catch their own mistakes, but technically I unintentionally cheated and their mistake was just not noticing it. And I don't know how to feel about it, but it happened. I admit it, but I also did pocket the money that she paid me out. I have to admit that as well.
All right, Dr. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I wouldn't feel too bad about it. He obviously did it unintentionally. If it was me, that would happen to me because I wouldn't be paying close enough attention. And then when I saw it out there, I would think to myself, did I bet or did I?
You wouldn't even realize what happened. I did win. Yay!
I wouldn't even realize what happened, and I just collected. So I have no problem with that scenario.
I think if I were in that situation, I probably would call attention to it because this isn't just a dealer mistake. If the camera is looking, they would assume that you did it intentionally, right? That's the way they're going to lean.
Right, and that could get you barred from the casino forever.
Or arrested,
Yeah, or arrested.
right, depending on the jurisdiction. Yeah, we've talked about how when a dealer makes a mistake, sometimes we don't call attention to it. But this is a situation where it looks like you're cheating. It's not just a dealer making a mistake that maybe you wouldn't even notice. So
right.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you're cheating when they overpay you or something.
Right. Yeah.
Because you didn't do anything different.
Right.
But in this case, the guy in the sky might think he just pass posted. Maybe he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Especially when the other guy said to him,
careful about doing that. They watch for that kind of thing. They do?
That's that'd be like, uh-oh. Well, the good news is nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the casino, I'm sure, didn't lose money that night.
I think they probably did okay. I don't know for sure, but if we need to make an assumption, that would be the one.
Although he will be getting a phone call from Maryland Live here.
Oh, yeah. He talked about the thousands of listeners we have, and I'm sure somebody at Maryland Live listens to us. So
yeah, or I'm sure one of our listeners will call Maryland Live. Yeah, Tim Lawson, he has that podcast, The Better Life.
Check your cameras. Click.
Oh, it'll be like Deep Throat or something, right?
All right. Last call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Dipstick Man checking in again. It's been about a year since I've called in, so I figured I'd stick my nose in, give you my opinion on something. I have a solution to Dr. Mike's problem of not being able to pack enough clothes to Las Vegas, probably to save airfare or luggage charges. What you can do, Dr. Mike, is fly to Vegas with very little carry-on. Get a ride to a Goodwill store near the Strip, and for $2 to $5 per piece, you can have a nice wardrobe. Pack one pair of Depends for each day into your carry-on, or every other day if you really are lucky. Finally, leave the Goodwill purchases in your hotel room for the cleaning staff. If you're cheap, the clothing will replace or supplement your tip. Your other choice is to pay the $35 luggage charge and pack what you want. I love your podcast. Signing off, this is the Bipsic Man.
What do you say, Dr. Mike?
I like it. I really like it. Hey, I know people who've done that. There was a pastor here in town who went on a trip overseas, and the first thing he did was go and buy a bunch of hand-me-down clothing and then just left them there for people.
Yeah, this topic has come up on the show before, or something similar about, just leaving clothes there. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing, right? I mean, you spend a little money, you buy some clothes, and then you leave them for people who need them.
Yeah.
And, you didn't have to haul a bunch of bags around. I like it.
Yeah, all right.
Although we do know a person who took a book to read on the plane, right? And on their trip, as they were reading it, they tore out pages of the books and threw them away so it'd be lighter when they brought it back. And I always think about that and like, well, why would you do that? Why not just read the whole thing and then just give it to somebody or leave it? Why would you tear out the pages? It didn't make sense, but they thought it was, if they didn't finish it, they could bring the book back. It'd be lighter.
That's just thinking logically is what that is.
It must have been a hardbound, I guess.
Well, I just hope you look stylish, Dr. Mike, when you come out here for Zorkfest.
Yeah. Mark, you know me. I'm a clothes hound.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a lot of clothes. Most of them are T-shirts.
Yeah, mostly they're T-shirts. Oh, every once in a while, I like to put on a button-down shirt. For school now, I've been wearing the button-down shirt.
Oh, good. That used to be kind of our style. We'd go to a casino. You'd be in a T-shirt. I'd have a collared shirt. That's kind of our thing. Yeah, that's how
that's
people
part of
tell
our
us
thing.
apart. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations from James, from Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel, and from Kurt. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. Hey, you can buy merchandise for You Can Bet on That and for The Better Life at bettermerch.com. That's BETTOR merch.com. You'll find a link for that at the top of our webpage. Also on our webpage, you'll find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television in the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. If you're looking for a movie to watch, check out our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at youcanbetonthat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonthat. What do you got, Dr. Mike?
Well, some of the 7th graders at school were interested in our podcast, and they were saying that they were watching it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just listening to it on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. All it is just our logo on the screen and then the audio that goes around it. Yeah, we post there as well. Yeah, there are people who listen that way.
Okay, because then they said, well, but you only have like 100 listeners or something like that.
There aren't too many listeners on YouTube. Most people, listen to them through podcast apps. But yeah, some do it just through YouTube. They're used to YouTube.
And they were giving me a hard time. And me in tech, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think we're on YouTube. I mean, if we are, it's not our faces. And why they're listening, I don't know. And they go, well, why don't you have more listeners? I'm like, well, it's kind of a niche area, right? I mean, and why these 7th grade girls are listening to You Can Bet on That podcast on YouTube, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. With young people and social media and the internet, I don't know either, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's what's going on there.
Look at our appeal, Mark. We're 7th grade girls are listening to our show.
Great.
Oh, I substitute in their room. and it's shop.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'm helping like put rivets in and spot weld things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do you know this stuff? I'm like, because I'm old. This is how we made stuff in my day. It wasn't machine made. I just thought that was funny that they're listening to our podcast. I guess we'll have to clean it up a little.
Yeah, well, that's why we have been clean from the beginning, Dr. Mike.
Yeah,
We're concerned about the
appeal to
youth
all.
of America and beyond.
When the third graders starts listening, we're really going to have some issues.
So you want to double down in this case, kids?
Yeah, maybe I should tell them, hey, I'm just subbing in here today, so the teacher's not here. How about a little game of 21 for everybody?
Hey!
I'll deal. Guys, get your quarters out. Oh. Anyway, that's all I got right now, Mark. I'm watching, as we're talking, the Oregon at Iowa game.
Uh-huh.
And it was coming down pretty hard there down in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was snow or rain, and it's a close game. So my over bets might not do so well today.
All right. Well, I'll turn it on when we're done here.
Yeah, once winter time comes, I'm going to bet the unders.
Okay. Not that the professionals who set the lines take that into account or anything.
No, they don't bother with that.
Yeah.
Well, in the Midwest, it's hard because the weather changes every couple minutes.
Yeah.
They don't know.
All right. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Oh, I do love a casino!